Hey, welcome back to another episode of Say You Look Tired. I'm Martin.
I'm Dan.
And yeah, I think it'll be an interesting one today. We were talking about before, but about negative self-talk. So I've got a stat for this one. Always find a stat.
Can I guess what it is? I don't know if I get it wrong. Oh, actually, is it over 50%?
Less.
Oh, less. 37.
Oh, no. 28.
Oh, close.
28% of education staff report signs of depression, which it says is nearly double the UK average, which kind of tracks, doesn't it? That like double the amount of teachers are depressed, they're stressed, they're burnt out than the rest of the working population. In fact, I was making a post the other week and it was about like, you know, when people moan about teachers having all summer off. And I worked out the like hours that teachers do. And even though teachers have 13 years a year off, so 13 weeks a year off, supposedly, they do more hours than the average working person in the UK does in the whole year. So you think 39 weeks, and they do at something like 2 or 3, I think it was 300 extra hours on a normal person in a normal 9 to 5.
We've lived it. We've lived it. It's like, I'm not surprised like that is what the statistic is now. Like we've both done it ourselves. And like, you know, we're talking there about negative self-talk. You're always comparing yourself. It's always comparing yourself to the teacher next door, to your previous lesson you did the day before, or to what you see online. And when I first started out, it was Pinterest. I don't know if that's still a thing.
I don't know.
And in the early years, everyone was like, "Oh, make your classroom look like this, make your classroom like," and everything looked perfect. We have these little things called trays, tough trays, and people set up the most amazing things. And I was like, my class, go over to it, and it doesn't look like that. When they're finished with it, looks like it's been in Chernobyl. And I just was like,
but then you have to fix it at lunch, and you have to fix it after
get it ready for the
school.
next. But yeah, it's because from my experience, and I'm constantly comparing myself to the other teachers, I've seen how hard they work. And like we were saying in a previous one, because I was given a leadership role very early, I was like, if I don't keep up with them, then I'm going to fall behind. I won't be seen as good enough. And throughout a large part of my life, I didn't feel good enough doing stuff anyway, because I was never good at sports, was never good at anything until I started teaching. I was like, I thought that was a good day. That was another good day. This is fluky, and I didn't want to be found out that I wasn't good at teaching.
Yeah. And even though you were doing it well, I'll be found out. These were all lucky days.
Yeah. How did they get there? It was just a fluke.
But that's it, isn't it? And like, don't get me wrong, the stress, the strain, the burnout, that's all going to contribute to that like depression feeling. But a lot of it can be like that negative self-talk. And I think sometimes it's always how you frame your day. And I was thinking just from earlier on today, what happened to me, it can always be stuff where it spirals. So when I was getting the train to meet you at Lime Street, the train before mine was late. And I've never experienced this before. Both trains, so on 2 platforms, both trains came in.
Okay.
So both trains come in. So I was meant to be there and I was about 2 or 3 minutes early, perfect time to get the ticket, go down. But when I looked, the train was there. And I was like, oh, I'll have to run, I'll have to get it. So I ran down to the platform, got my ticket dead quick, and the door shut on the train and it went. And then as it did it, I looked over and on the other one, which is where I thought the train should have come in, was the train that I was getting. Because the other one was the delayed one. And as I was there, I knew I didn't have enough time to get over there. And that shut and that left. And that's why I was like 10 minutes later than I thought I would be. Well, 20 minutes. But the thing which got me with it is, from that, I could have been like, how unlucky is that? This is an awful day. Everything's going to be rubbish. But I just sat there and just went, okay, things happen. Brush it off. And it's those things like this tiny little things during the school day, which can all add up. And I think you definitely need to protect yourself, but you also look at how you talk to yourself. Like the human brain is negative. That is how we've got as a species from where we were to where we are today. You know, even today, don't walk out on the road, you'll get run over by a car.
Yeah, don't.
But that's a negative thought. Don't touch the iron.
Mm-hmm.
That will be hot. Don't put your hand on the stove. It will burn you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, all these things are negative.
Yeah.
But we need those thoughts to protect us and to keep us safe. There's just not as many dangers now. So everything just pushes in internal at us. And we're so used to saying, I can't do this. I'm a fraud at this. I'm going to get found out at this. I'm no good at that. And it's just so ingrained in us. Like, that's where it all spirals.
Especially in teaching, like say if you are observed, they always have to find something. You always get given, even if, so I've been doing lesser observations for years. And I've been there where I've watched something, I'm like, that was grand.
Yeah.
And we sat around for ages to find, because
you've got to have something to improve.
You have to have something to improve. No. But well, can we not just say it was grand? No. I mean, you were talking there about getting the trains and things. It reminded me of years ago, I used to feel like I had to get in for a certain time so I could get in early years, like get the stuff set up, get outside ready, phonics things all ready. Because if it wasn't done by the start, if everything wasn't done by the start of the day, that was it. And if my day went to pot, then I felt guilt that children had missed out on like a day of perfect education. And I remember being in the car with my friend, and she had woken up late because I don't drive. And she wasn't always late. And she picked me up, and she could tell that I was tense.
Yeah.
And she's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, we need to get in. And because she was already YFS teacher, we need to do this. And she was like, oh, it's too early for this, Dan. Just shush. But when we got there, I remember, Martin, getting out of that car. You would think I was running for like a sale somewhere. Getting out of the car, the bag in it was everywhere. Ran in, and like, I didn't want to be seen that my classroom wasn't ready. Yeah. I was waiting for someone to come in and say, oh, okay, he's not that good.
Yeah.
And like, that would be the one, like you say, oh, I've been found out that I'm not. Because I wanted everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
And like those, and then it's always just reminded me of, you could do more, you could do more, you could do more. And then that's whenever things like your evenings, you're like, oh, do you know what? Today was a good day at school. But then, you might be a WhatsApp group from school and people are texting in about this, that, and the other. Or emails come through and you're like,
do you know what? Funny enough, I was talking to clients who just joined my team where we were talking about emails and WhatsApp and stuff like that. First off, I say to everyone, I don't know. Like everyone says, they've got to keep their emails on the phone in case of an emergency. I don't know a person in an emergency who's ever sent an email. Do you?
No.
Like, you'll get a text or you get a call. So take them off. Any teacher, there is no reason you need your emails on your phone. Because if there is an emergency, someone will call you or someone will text you because they know that is the way to do it with an emergency. Check it throughout the day. Maybe come in, get your classroom ready, check your emails. Do your lesson at lunch, maybe have a quick glance after school, check your emails. Don't be checking them at night. Don't be looking that way. But the other one, I was saying about WhatsApp, like when you get added to a staff WhatsApp, it can be a bit tricky. You might not want to be like, I'm leaving. I'm not doing this. But what you can do, mute it. And this is what I did. But this is what I think the key is. Archive it. Because when you archive it, it's, because if you mute it, it's still going to be there. And it's still, if there's a message, it goes to the top. But if you archive it, you've got to go into the archive bit of WhatsApp to see it. So you might see that there's a message, but you go, oh, it's probably, if you know that no one else messages you on that, it's going to be school, I'll look at it later. You're not going to look and see what it is.
No.
And that's what I do. Archive. Put it out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind.
That's really good. Like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I do that.
WhatsApp,
just archive it. You just swipe it in. Swipe it in.
Start archiving some friends.
But that's it. Like, stuff like that. It is about, to make sure that you're not having that negative self-talk. I think you've got to put boundaries in. You've got to respect yourself. You can't be letting school rule everything. And then you've got to start talking yourself in the right way. That's the big one.
Do you know when you were saying there about emails, was something that I started doing? And I openly let people know that this was what I was doing. Because people used to come and say to me, did you get my email? And say I was in at like 7:45. No, because
I haven't opened them yet.
No, because I've not opened them yet. Give me a minute, Deborah. And I've never worked with a Deborah. I'm sorry if I haven't, I've forgotten you. But what I started doing was I said to myself, I'm not going to read these until 8:10. Don't ask me why, but 8:10 was my time. So that I could get in, do all the things that I needed to do. And then if something's going to annoy me, it can do it at 8:10.
Yeah.
So I would say to people, no, it's not 8:10, which just became my thing. It's not 8:10 yet. And then at the end of the school day, I was like out the door at 4:30 unless it was a meeting day.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, when's the last time I'm willing to annoy myself with an email? It's going to have to be 4:00.
Yeah.
Because if it's after that, then if I'm annoyed, I'll be stuck doing it and I'll get annoyed. So I openly said to people, I won't check it after 4:00, by the way. And you can't tell me anything else. And like, if it is an emergency, you've got my phone number. Please call me. You know, if you've laminating pouches or something like that. But then it just became that thing. Oh, Dan's not looked at it yet. It's not 8:10 yet. But then I've said it to everybody.
But that's you in a jokingly way. Everyone knows that's your boundary.
Yeah. And then that was it then, because I'll never forget one of my head teachers, Rebecca, who I absolutely love. I came in one Monday and she was like, oh, what's wrong with you? You're grumpy. And I was like, oh, I looked at that email about the thing we have to do today, SLT. And she was like, I didn't ask you to read it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions with like heads. So heads have a super stressful job. And I always say everyone's in their own bubble. Everyone's in their own bubble. And sometimes, like I think most of the time you've got to have really good boundaries with work. But say you get an observe the next day and you want to make sure that everything's right. If you normally stay till 4:30, it's not the end of the world if you stay till 5:30 and get everything prepped and get everything ready. So you know you come in the next day and everything's good for it. That's not you getting rid of your boundaries. Yeah. That's you de-stressing yourself. And I think with head teachers, they have so much demand on them. And quite a lot of their job is just pressure. It's just pressure for pressure's sake. And sometimes to relieve it, they might go, right, I need to get them to do this. I'll send them now and then I can relax.
Yeah.
And they might be working at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. That doesn't mean it's healthy for them. That doesn't mean it's right. But they might just need like, do you know what? It's a Friday, 10 o'clock at night. I'll get this out. I can relax over the weekend. Yeah. They're not expecting you to open your email at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday and respond. They think you're like you're doing, check it later on.
Yeah.
There are some head teachers that will expect it.
Probably that one that you've spoken about before.
For most, I think, get a bit of a bad rap where they're just trying to release their own bubble.
Yeah.
A bit like I always say, an SLT member and a head teacher, like, or a deputy or assistant or anything like that, most of them, do you know when they're piling on the work onto someone and they say, we have to do all this work, they aren't thinking about how much work you've got. They are just going, right, we need to get this sorted, we need to get this sorted, we need to get this sorted. And they probably expect you to say, I've got too much work now. And they will go, oh, I'm sorry. Like, let's look at this. And I'm sure you've had chats with heads.
Yeah, you know, before I ever said and opened up one time about, I can't cope with this. I thought if I do that, then they've got the fear of, oh.
You can't do it.
You can't cope. You can't do it.
Take that
TLR. Take it off him.
Take it off him. He's not the lead anymore.
Scrub out SLT underneath his classroom door with a crayon. But then when I started saying it, I went, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It's like exposure therapy. Isn't that what they call it? If you expose yourself to that enough, then it becomes part of, you get stronger, you get more resilient. But like what I know I've spoken about it before, if I ever admitted I couldn't do things, or I remember I would never mention that my lesson went awful. If it was an awful, I was like, oh my goodness, the children were on the roof. And like, well, they weren't, but like they were, it was never that bad. But in your head, you're telling yourself, oh, the handwriting wasn't good today in that phonics lesson. That's it. If someone would have seen that, I would have been drilled over hot coals. And then what I just said to myself was, and I got very good at journaling over the last 5 years, but I can do it mentally now without having to write it down. And I had a phase meeting on a Wednesday. And part of my agenda on that was to get everyone to go around and quickly say something positive that's happened during the day.
Do you know, I used to do that at the end of school with the kids every day.
Oh.
So I used to do it. They hated it at first because they're tired. It's the end of the day and I'm asking them to do something which like they don't normally do. But by the end of the year, they'd love it. And the reason they'd love it is because a little bit like, if you're looking at getting a new car, new dog, whatever it is, you see that everywhere. Like I say, I never thought anyone had a Westie in Liverpool since we got Seamus. See a different one every day. Do you know, it's that sort of stuff.
It's like my buzz cut. Everyone's got one now.
That's just people copying them.
Everyone. No, I'm growing it back.
but the thing is, like with it, is like the more you're doing it, the better it's going to be. You're going to notice all things. So the more they're doing that, the more they're seeing the positives, the more they're recognizing them. Because they're recognizing them more, they're also doing them more. So we'd go around and we'd share some of them, and someone would say, I'm really pleased because he shared like his colours with me, or, I asked him whether he could use the scissors and he did, or stuff like this. But then because the other kids were hearing that, they'd start doing that. That'd come more into it. And the classroom environment become a better place because the last 10 minutes of every day, we were acknowledging what went well that day. Yeah. And as a little bonus, it was great because what normally happens at the end of the day when the kids leave school?
The treats come out.
Oh, no, with the parents. What will the parents say?
Oh, what did you do at school today?
Yeah. And they go, well, this and this happened.
Because they've just reminded themselves about a little reflection. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So parents always thought they were having an amazing time in my class because they were telling them these great things that happened, but the environment was better. And I think if more we recognise that, the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even where you're talking about like journaling and stuff like that, if you feel like journaling is too taxing, one thing that can be really good is at the end of the day, sitting in your car, whether it's just as you get in after work or as you're pulling up on the drive, just get your phone out, go on WhatsApp yourself a voice note, just talking about the day, where you can just ramble a little bit. And it does work because, again, a bit like we were talking before, we were talking about stories and stuff like that. And I said, I can't remember, I'll probably remember while we're talking. Because when I'm thinking about stuff in my mind, I don't know whether you're the same, I will remember different things when I'm talking because I'm activating a different part of my brain. It's the same, like...
And you'll realise that maybe the day wasn't as bad as you thought.
And the part of me which maybe might have negative self-talk isn't the part of me which really speaks. So I come up with like different ways. Yeah. Same way I tell everyone who I work with, go out for a walk after school. It's brilliant to go out during lunch as well. It's the same thing. Go out because it decompresses you, splits up the day, and it makes you like, you're active, you're moving, you're thinking differently, and it's just better. Yeah. You feel better for doing it because it's not rush. It's 10 minutes for you. Yeah. You're in the fresh air, you're in the sunlight, hopefully, and you can just relax and you start thinking, oh, do you know what? That wasn't that bad. That wasn't that. Yeah, that was okay. Because quite a lot of things that happen, there can be things in school that are killer. But quite a lot is how we spin it to ourselves.
Yeah, and mine's always about behaviour.
Yeah.
Say if I've had children whose behaviour was just through no fault of their own. Yeah. And I found it really hard to manage at times and I would blame myself. But I would never I would never shout the children. What I got very good at was say whenever I'm feeling, oh my goodness, I would say to myself, when emotions are high, intelligence is low, Dan, don't do it. And I go 3, 2, 1. But I always had you can buy those bottles where it keeps water absolutely freezing cold. Yeah. And I had one of them. Even during my lesson, I'd turn around and I'd be like, and have a sip of my water just because then that cold shock just calms me down a little bit. And because I used to be quite a reactive person, even when I was dealing with a staff member who was maybe gone off on one to me about something, and I would just stare at them. I find it harder
with adults than kids, though. You could sometimes pass with kids, couldn't you? But it was always tough with adults.
I would rise to the level of the adult, which is not going to solve anything. Almost to be like, how dare you speak to me this way? I'm not having it. Whereas I would just stare. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm listening, hopefully, but I'm counting myself down. I'm just like, 5, 4, 3.
See, I'm completely the opposite in it, in the sense of like, where you're saying you rise to it. I'm more like, my mind goes like, I can't bother with this. Like, and I'll just be like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, yeah.
This is what I became. I got went good.
Yeah, but
actually, that was even good. No, I was just like, okay. Mm-hmm.
No, but mine wouldn't be like it. Mine would be like, if there's an argument going on, I'd be like, I can't be bothered with this. But there's so many of them in school. There's so many arguments. There's so many things. And it's just protecting your own energy, isn't it?
Yeah. And if there is a lot of negativity going around, I start removing myself from it because it loves an audience.
Yeah.
And it would turn, even if I wasn't a good mood, I'd be like, oh, yeah. And you take a bit of that with you.
Because there's always injustices in school.
Yes.
There's always injustices in school. There's always something going on. And it's just about separating yourself from it all.
What would be, if I've just got one that's going through my mind right now. Do you know how teaching can be seen as perfection and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Is there anything now that you think and reflect back on that was something that you used to stress about so much and you would talk yourself into a negative spiral of, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed? Mine, which just popped into my head just now, was dismissing children at the end of the day. Because I have to hand mine over because they're 4 or 5 and they're all lined up. Say if they weren't listening and there's chaos in the cloakroom, I would see that as a bad reflection on me. But they're tired. It's the end of the day. They want to go home. So do I. And if what didn't look good or great going out the door, I would think, oh my goodness, that's all your fault. And I would be so embarrassed. And then another one was when we're all outside at break time, lining them up. Yeah. If my class weren't quiet, especially on a fire drill, you need to all be quiet.
Yeah. Do you know what mine would be? It'd be, so once a term, you'd have like your class assembly, right? And mine would be while the other classes were coming in. So we'd always just kind of dismiss. We'd go like, you'd have you and your TA in the room for the class assemblies. You wouldn't need any of the teachers there. But while they were bringing them in, whoever's assemblies, they'd have to be at the front, waiting. So you'd almost feel like you were in charge of the behavior of the entire school. And I'd always feel like I'd failed if some of them. So I'd be like, it'd only be for 2 minutes you'd be in charge of the whole thing, but it didn't matter while all the rest of the adults were there. But while they were coming in or going out, it was like, oh God, even though none of it was my control, because it was a teacher bringing their class in, lining them up, waiting till all the teachers in there, you go, okay, we're okay, you can go if you want. And they'd all go. It'd be like, I'm at the front. It's a reflection on me if they're not behaving. Maybe because you'd see it as, maybe I'd see it as, like, if the head was standing at the front, no one would make a sound. Yeah. So
why are they not doing it for you?
Yeah. Even though none of it ever happened, they all just sat there. No one made that. But it would be that thing, I think, sometimes. That would be the one. Yeah, I'd say that would be my big one. That pressure of the other staff, like if you had to lead the staff meeting, which I never really had to do.
Oh, no, that used
you had
to
to
make
lead
me feel
staff
ill.
meeting, you had to talk in the assembly, you had to do anything. The kids, fine in front of them.
I used to get nervous presenting a certificate in Friday assembly.
Oh.
In case I say it wrong, in case I get it wrong, or I have known that I've written the certificate, that is at the front, I've checked already, but as the head teacher's going through them, I was like, I don't think mine is there. I'm going to panic. What if I've not done this? Everyone's going to think he's foolish.
When I was doing supply, there was a school I used to go into every Tuesday, like when I first started teaching. And their Tuesday, it was a bit weird, their Tuesday was their start of the week assembly.
Oh, okay.
So the parents were going on Tuesday. And the first time I did it, took the class down, and the head was like I don't know how to describe it, the head had left and the council had put an acting head in.
Oh, okay.
So he wasn't he didn't really know that many. He'd only been there a couple of weeks. And I was there, sitting there, and they go, okay, year 5, such and such, and he gets a certificate out and he reads it out and he goes, okay, sir, can you tell us why you star of the week? And I was like, no. And he was like, what do you mean no? What do you mean no? And I was like, there's low parents at the back. I was like, oh, I'm just the supply teacher, so this is the first day I've been in the school. And he was like, okay. And he said to the kid, he said, do you know why you star of the week? And the kid was like,
no. He's next on the list. That's how it works.
But I always remember that with star of the week. None of that was my fault.
Yeah.
I was a supply teacher. I brought kids in. And then they'd went, why did you start the week? And I've gone,
my goodness.
But
mate.
I remember that, like, I felt physically sick when he was like, why? And I was like, I don't know.
Now, would you make something up? I would.
No, because
you weren't there. But
it was the first time I've been in school about half an hour at this point, like with the class. Do you know? I was just grateful that he didn't ask what his name was.
Oh my goodness me. Oh, that would have been awful. And there's another thing you just reminded me on. Do you know if there is an assembly with parents there and you're bringing your class in? And like, because they have to come in and sit on the hall floor, there's no lines.
I reckon that must have been so much more stressful for you than me though as well. Because I'd year 5 most of the time. So I'd be like, it's Friday, start of the week assembly. There'll be parents in there. I expect you on your best behaviour. Well, you can't really do that reasoning with.
Especially when they've never been before. Oh my goodness, it's like kittens. And then I'm like, sit down. Do not sit down. I said to them, do not sit down until you are asked to by me. Go. It's like production, like putting like eggs in a container. Go. But then the days when I did do it well, I used to sit there so smugly. Especially, this is so bad. Especially if someone else was bringing theirs in and it was chaos. I'm like, well done, my class.
See, you would have had extra stress in our school because we went in year 6 down.
Right.
So you would never have you'd never have one before us. You would be the last one in and the first out every time. Because it went through just like filling up, so it was easier to fill up from the back to front. And then going out, you would have went first.
Oh no. Mine, like, especially if you've been anywhere, they have to be quiet when they leave. They put on music.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the music and everyone has to be quiet on the way out. And I said, don't. And then especially if it's 2 lines. So say there's 2 lines in my class sat down, it would be expected that the front row goes first and this line they follow afterwards. That's not going to happen. Sometimes it might, and that's whenever the miracle happens. But I'd be like, don't you move. And if I was lucky enough to have a TA, I'd be like, can you guard them? Guard her. Move her to the back of the line. She's going to ruin it for everyone. And then the front line would come and I thought, this is great. Turn around, half them are missing. There's a big gap in the line. And I would think that'd be a reflection on me. Whereas now I can look back and think, do you know what? It's not the end of the world. It's absolutely fine.
I think that does show as well, like the different struggles of like, I would say primary teaching is like a sliding scale where there is a hell of a lot more energy during the day down in reception than there is in year 6. But when the day is over, there isn't as much energy needed in reception as there is in year 6. Because like the marking and everything that way. But there is that thing of like, I would expect my children to like go in quietly, but it would never really be. But it's a thought when I'm standing in the front and I'm like, everyone best come in quietly. But my actual class going in, unless it was the Friday one, I'd be like, remember the parents are in, you need to walk in perfectly. But that was the extent of what I would think about the assembly, like walking in and stuff like that.
Mine would be
just chaos.
Some of mine would stand up during assembly. Mr. Mac, I need the toilet. No, I wouldn't say something like, oh, I forgot to toilet the whole class before we left. Oh no.
Even stuff like that. Like
the journey to not the airport, the journey to the assembly hall, I would say, right, we all must go to the toilet, which meant my head was constantly going, right, okay, assembly's at, so assembly was at 2:45, 2:50, 2:45. The school day ended at 3:15. So I couldn't just take them back and dismiss them. We had to, as military operation.
Yeah.
Before we even went to assembly, it was get your things to go home. Don't put your coat on yet. We're going to assembly. Don't put it on. Don't put it on. Don't put it on. So they had to have their stuff all on the carpet in rows, then toilet, then assembly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, we're all ready to go. Braz, I was trying to get work done and get something sorted, and we didn't get ready to go home before we left. I remember one day getting them to the top of my corridor and going, go, 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 go. Coats, water bottles, packed lunches, because I didn't want any of them to have to come back in again. Because I felt bad if a parent came to the door and went, that's another day when they don't have their bottle with them, Mr. Mac. Well, they're old enough now to get it themselves.
I was just thinking then when I was in like teacher training, when I was at uni still, my 3rd year, I was in a year 1 class, and I've never seen it anywhere else. And it sounds really full on, but it was the most like military perfect thing ever. The teacher, when they had PE or had to get changed, would not let them like get changed by themselves. They all as one had to follow her instructions.
I was the same.
But I've never seen it. She'd be like, right, everyone, shoes off, and all take the shoes off. And she'd be like, tuck under your chair. And then tuck them under the chair. She'd be like, socks off. Take one sock off, put it in the shoe. Take the other sock off, put it in the shoe. And it'd be like, bam, 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 bam. And I remember thinking like, that's intense. But then I was looking at it later and I was like, it's a year one class and they are changed within 10 minutes, which is unheard of. And all their clothes were like never lost. No, she took it to another level. So they would have to like get their PE clothes out and tip them out in front of them on their desk. And then apart from the socks which went in the shoes, all their uniform had to go in the bag.
Oh.
So that no one's ever got mixed. So she'd be like, I can't find my jumper. It'd be like, it's in your bag. Everything was in the bag.
That's a good idea.
And it was just like bam, 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 bam. And I remember thinking like, that's a bit intense. But then I remember we had to have, it was a 2-form entry. We had to have PE with the other year one class. We were out like doing PE.
And you'd be waiting for them.
They were another like 20 minutes. Like, and she used to stress at the end because she'd be like, oh, we might have to get them back in soon. And she'd be like, oh, you take yours in. Like, we'll stay out for another 20. Like
oh, getting changed for PE. After COVID, they just came to the new school I've been in. They just come to school in their kit.
That's better.
Because then that meant we could just get to PE. And I love teaching PE. I absolutely love it. And we just get on with the lesson.
It's less messing, isn't it? And that's, do you know what? I think that's a perfect example of problems in school. A lot of stuff is just, we've always done it this way. You've always come in your uniform. We've always done planning this way. We've always done it this. We've always done that. We've always done this. Never is it good or is it right. It's just, it's always this way.
And that could be a self-talk thing about change. Some people don't like change.
No.
Like I went to a school as a EYFS lead and I changed quite a lot, but I think I did it too quick. And people were like, but we've always done it this way. And I overheard someone say, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, do you know what? When you're burnout, when you're feeling drained, when you feel all that negative self-talk, you feel all these things, doesn't matter how quick it is. Like I was talking about when I used to get the kids to write nice things at the end of the day, things that had gone well, things they were proud of at the end of the day. They hated it because it was extra brain power. When you start health and fitness journey, it's a killer at the beginning because you don't know what to do. You've got to think about it. When you start going to the gym, you have to think about it. I always say to people, 90% of people don't say like, oh, I don't like the gym because they don't like the gym. They don't like the overwhelm that they feel. Like if you think about how much you love teaching, whoever's loved teaching everything, the first lesson you do as a student teacher is so overwhelming and so horrible. And if someone asked you after that, do you want to be a teacher? You'd have doubts because you'd be like, I don't know whether I want to feel like that all the time. But you're not. But with other situations like change to marking policies, change to like things, some people would rather have all that extra paperwork than think about the new thing because they know they can cope with that old one. They might not be coping well, but they can cope with it. And that's the killer, I think, sometimes.
Like when they changed the EYFS framework, it changed in 2021 to a new one. I was like, oh no, I've had that one for ages, and most of my time being in SLT. I'm gonna have to not remember the whole thing, but I'm gonna have to look at it now because people will expect me to know what it is. And I'm like, But then what I did was I broke it down into small chunks. I told myself, they're not going to expect me to know all of this. I'm not an encyclopedia. And another thing was, I never wanted anyone, this is a self-talk thing, to come to me and ask me a question and me not know the answer. I always thought I had to know. Whereas if that happened now in the last few years, I was like, you know what? I don't know.
But I think if you ask yourself stuff, that's where you get that reassurance. So like you saying you have to know all the new thing which only come out that year, be able to answer any question on it, on something that come out like a week before, is madness. But when it's in your own head, you don't think it's madness. It's only when you say it in a different way. So when you either wrote it down or you say it out loud or you say it to someone else, you realize how insane it sounds. Same way with like food. People I talk with, one of the big things is stress eating, emotional eating, like leaning on food for that support. And now and again, they'll send me a message and it'll either be a text or a voice note, especially the voice notes where they'll be like, hey, just wanted to let you know, like, I'm over on my calories today. I've absolutely blown it. I've had 2 Mars bars because they were just in the staff room and I just grabbed them and ate them. I know what you're going to say. Like, they're only 150 calories each. It's only 300 calories. I'm in a 500 calorie deficit every day anyway. So it's not even that I've blown everything. I am in a deficit, just a smaller one. That's what you're going to, do you know what? It's not even that bad. Thinking about the other day, I was 300 than what I was meant to be then. Do you know what? It's not even a problem. But if they hadn't said that out loud, all they would have had in their mind was, you've blown it, you've blown it, you've blown it, you've blown it. By the time they get home, I'll have a pizza.
Yeah, because I've blown it anyway.
I've blown it. It's Thursday. You've had chocolate in the staff room. You've had a big Domino's takeaway. Well, on the Friday, who cares? Let's go for it this weekend. Let's get a couple of bottles of wine. Let's get another takeaway. Let's get all snacks for the weekend. And I'll start again on Monday. Monday comes round. You've had 3 or 4 gluttonous days. Feel awful. You couldn't be bothered doing anything on the Sunday, so it's not prepared. Monday comes round. It's grab and go. It's quick fix. And
rocking back and forth with anxiety.
And it just spirals. And that's the big one. Like, sometimes it is talking, chatting. Even as I say, send yourself a voice note, get the right support, find a community where you can chat and talk. I wouldn't be in many of the teacher Facebook groups. I think, as you said before, negativity loves an audience.
Yeah.
There was a couple of Facebook, I was never really into social media till I started all this. I would say completely different. Like, you've always been into it. I'd say, I haven't. I only started doing it for this and then kind of that way. But I joined a few Facebook groups to be like, okay, let's see how this all works. I left most of the Facebook groups I was in within the first 2 weeks because I was getting stressed out about my job from reading their problems. Like, and it's such killer. Anonymous post about, hey, I've just got this. And then all the comments and all the negativity and the arguments.
Mine was comparison. I was like, oh my goodness, I've not done anything like that. Or I didn't know that. Oh no, I've never known this. People know I don't know this. Something random. But I was always seeing, like, especially during the summer, people in classrooms set up, ready to go, displays already there. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I've done nothing. My classroom is an empty shell.
That's it. And that's why I think you've got to find the right communities for you and you've got to block the ones out that aren't.
Yeah.
Got to make sure you've got some way of venting and talking. And you've just got to be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
We were talking about before, maybe, like, we're always our own worst critics. You never get a photo, do you? And pick apart all the flaws in your mates.
No.
But you'll do it to yourself.
Yeah, at the minute, I'm my own worst critic, if I'm honest. Like, I have got into a bit of a negative spiral about things, which is, you know, I'm just letting people know I might be quite trippy all the time, but I do still get in there because it was who I used to be. And when I get tired, I can revert back to factory settings and unpick everything and be really negative. But what I've tried really hard to do, especially this last week, is I realized that I didn't journal as much, and more as in written down. But because I got so good at just doing it mentally, but then it was just a negative spiral thought. And I've got out my book again that I've got it made. It's got preset questions in. I'll start writing a daily intention for myself, 3 things I'd like to get out of the day. And then at the end of the day, I just mind dump into this page of, I'll get it all out. And then I've started to sleep again and start to be less critical and just sort of try to get back onto that wave of, okay, you've got this. It's not as bad as you think.
And that's it. And it's just building it that way. And it's going away from those, like, factory settings, isn't it? And the norms didn't even change. Funny enough, even like a slightly more trivial one would change. What has been funny the last couple of years, what I've really focused on is, like, building my body even more. And I've always been in, like, 34 jeans. And over the last couple of years, I've gone from 34 to 36 to 38. And I was going into, like, 40. And I was like, but I always wear skinny jeans. So I've gone from 34, in the past year, I've gone from 34 to 38. And they were, like, struggling to get on. So I was going to 40-inch jeans. Now, I was like, maybe I just need a different style. So I went away from skinny jeans to just regular jeans, back in 34s.
Because there you go. Yeah.
But the trouble was, they weren't fitting around my calves.
Yeah.
And because they weren't fitting around my calves, they were keeping my jeans in place there. So it was pulling the jeans. So there was no movement. And it was like, and it was a nightmare to get on and stuff like that. And they'd rip easy and stuff like that. But it wasn't the waist that was the problem.
Yeah.
It was the trouser. And it's the same with like, there's sometimes you'll be so fixated on, well, I've always wore skinny jeans. I've always wore skinny jeans. I'm trying to build my legs and I'm surprised that I'm not fitting in skinny jeans. But it's that thing of like, as I say, I was going up to 40-inch jeans because they weren't fitting. But I just needed to change the style of jeans. And that's the difference. And it's that thing.
Change your environment.
Change the environment, change the habits.
Change the habits, change
routines.
Your life.
Yeah, and it'll change different things. I'm more comfortable with clothes. Not because, I was uncomfortable in them, but not in a like, oh God. It was more like, oh my God, like, I don't think I can move this leg.
Because you cut the circulation off.
But that's it. And it was those things, but it's changing those habits and a habit you've always got. And it seems trivial things, but quite a lot of things are trivial.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of things are trivial that you change.
And if you don't try and change it, you'll never know.
That's it. And I think when it comes to that negative one, if you've got negative self-talk, you're obviously in your head a lot and it's about getting it out. Whether that's voice noting yourself, whether that's like finding support in right places, talking, chatting, more the better.
Negative people, friends should also build you up. So if they're not, cut them out.
Oh,
and I'm looking down the camera as I say that.
Do you know what? I do always find that funny because I don't know about you, but I always find it really funny because I will see a lot of stories, not from so much teaching, but some teaching, but a lot like, because obviously I'll follow social media accounts and other coaches, and they'll all talk about how much stick they got at the beginning for doing stuff. About, posting videos on social media, talking that way. And it always makes me laugh because like, not one of my mates said anything about it.
Yeah.
One of them I think one of them said at the start when you do all those videos, and I said, oh, for what I want to do, got to do those videos because that's the way you get that growth. And they went, okay. And that was,
because they're supportive. You're supportive of you.
And it wasn't even that they were like, look at this. They were just like, how can you start doing them?
Yeah.
I said, oh, I need to for this. They went, okay.
Yeah.
And I always think, like, as you said, like, that negativity grows, that support grows. It's putting yourself in the right circles, isn't it?
Yeah. Because if you don't, then you'll just continue to be how it's always been. Years will pass, and then you'll look back and think, why didn't I do that now? Or you'll make the change later on, and you'll be like, why didn't I do that long ago?
Oh, 100%.
Make the change.
100%. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Leave us 5 stars.
Please.
Leave us a comment. We'll start replying back.
and you can put comments on YouTube as well. And if we see them, we'll try to reply back.
Yeah, no. But hopefully you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye now.